wanted to do this so people wouldn't have to always stare and take pictures. We don't like when they take pictures.
When Abby and Brittany Hensel were born in March 1990, doctors weren't sure they'd survive their first days. Yet here they are, more than 3 decades later, still amazing the world. But their story isn't just about being conjoined twins. It's about how they've lived full, inspiring lives beyond what anyone expected.
Abby tied the knot with Josh Bowling in 2021, and the trio lives in Minnesota, where the twins were born and raised.
So, what's been happening since the spotlight faded? From Abby's surprising marriage to rumors that sent the internet into a frenzy, and challenges they've quietly faced, their journey is far from ordinary. Stick around, because what you're about to hear will change how you think about life, love, and resilience, and reveal why Abby and Brittany are truly unstoppable. The shocking birth of Abby and Brittany Hensel. Their story began quietly, in a small hospital tucked away in Carver County, Minnesota. It was March 10, 1990. Patty and Mike Hensel were expecting just another normal delivery. Patty, a registered nurse, had gone through a smooth pregnancy. No major issues, no warnings from ultrasounds, no signs that anything out of the ordinary was about to happen. But the moment the babies were born, the room fell silent. The Hensel twins came into the world as dicephalic parapygous twins, a term so rare that even many doctors go their whole careers without ever seeing it. It means 2 heads side by side on a single body, 2 separate brains, 2 minds, but just 1 torso, 1 pelvis, and 1 set of arms and legs. Try to imagine it. 2 individuals, each with their own thoughts, feelings, and opinions, sharing 1 physical form. One person turns right, the other wants to go left. They have to agree. There's no other option. And from the very beginning, their anatomy told a story all its own. Between their 2 necks, doctors spotted a small 3rd arm, tiny, underdeveloped, and non-functional. It didn't move. It was simply there. Within a few weeks, surgeons made the tough decision to remove it, leaving behind only a small shoulder blade. That little remnant would become a quiet reminder of just how unique these girls really were. A physical footnote in an already extraordinary body. But here's where things get even more fascinating. Despite their shared body, Abby and Brittany are entirely separate when it comes to control. Abby commands everything on the right side, right arm, right leg, even the right side of their torso. Brittany handles the left. That means every single move they make, every step, every gesture, every dance or jump has to be perfectly coordinated. Like a real-life symphony, each girl is playing her part, always in sync, always listening. Even standing still, their individuality shows. Abby's head tends to lean slightly to the right. Brittany's tilts to the left. That subtle angle gives the illusion that Brittany is shorter, but there's a real reason behind it. Brittany's left leg is about 2 inches shorter than Abby's. To keep up while walking, Brittany naturally tiptoes on her left foot. Over time, that led to her left calf becoming visibly more muscular than Abby's. The body adapts, but only when both minds are working together. And life hasn't always been easy. Around the age of 12, the twins underwent a complicated surgery to correct scoliosis, a painful spinal curve that could have eventually affected their ability to breathe. Doctors also needed to expand their chest cavity to give both girls enough room for proper lung function. But one of the most mind-blowing aspects of their treatment came when doctors discovered that Brittany's spine had stopped growing too early. The solution? They made the decision to stop Abby's spinal growth too, surgically. Why? Because if one twin kept growing while the other didn't, it could lead to dangerous spinal tension and imbalance. That decision, to literally slow down one girl's body to match the other, shows just how delicately balanced their lives are. And that brings us to a bigger question, one that's not so easy to answer. What happens when two people share one body but start forming different dreams, different goals, different opinions about love, about careers, even about how they want to spend their futures? What does life look like for them? Let's find out. Inside the body they share. What's it really like for Abby and Brittany? Like we mentioned earlier, each twin controls one half of their shared body. Abby, who's on the right, is in charge of the right arm and right leg. Brittany, on the left, controls the left side. So when they're doing anything, walking, typing, even high-fiving someone, they have to be completely in sync. Imagine trying to ride a bike, and each half of your body is controlled by someone else. Now imagine doing that well. Sounds nearly impossible, right? But somehow, they make it work. And not just in the basic stuff. We're talking about everyday things like brushing hair, cooking, or even driving a car. Yes, driving. Back in 2012, Abby and Brittany starred in their own TLC reality show simply titled Abby and Brittany. The series gave viewers a rare glimpse into their teenage lives. And one of the standout moments? Watching them learn to drive. It wasn't just for show either. They each had to take the written and driving tests individually. 2 tests, 2 licenses, both passed. When they explained how driving works for them, it was as incredible as it was matter-of-fact. Abby takes care of the gas and the brake pedals. Brittany helps steer. The whole process relies on constant communication and trust, without hesitation. Any delay in teamwork could put them at risk. But they've got it down to an art. And this goes far beyond driving. Their internal systems are just as complex. Each girl has her own heart, spine, stomach, gallbladder, and pair of lungs, although 2 of their lungs are partially fused. They also have 3 kidneys, 1 liver, 1 bladder, 1 small intestine, and 1 large intestine. And when it comes to digestion, it's like having 2 systems operating side by side. Abby can eat something and feel totally fine, while Brittany might feel full or even sick, and vice versa. And pain? That's separated too. In one episode of their show, Abby pointed to Brittany's side and said, "If her stomach hurts there, I don't feel it." Brittany quickly added, "I can only feel my left side." And Abby confirmed, "And I can only feel my right." So if one twin is dealing with cramps, headaches, or stomach issues, the other might feel perfectly normal, even though they're standing right next to each other in the same body. The level of self-awareness they have, not just of themselves, but of each other, is remarkable. Because every decision, every move, every routine is built on cooperation. There's no such thing as going solo. Even something as small as putting on shoes becomes a team effort. But despite all of this, they've never complained. They don't see their life as a limitation. It's simply their life. From the outside, it might look like they're constantly compromising. But when you watch them in action, you realize it's more like a natural rhythm, like a dance they've been perfecting since day one. And yet, you can't help but wonder, what happens when their interests clash? What if one wants to go out and the other just wants to stay in? What if they have different career goals or plans for the future? Growing up, finding their voices, and building a life together, but on their own terms. Even though they've shared a body their whole lives, Abby and Brittany Hensel couldn't be more different when it comes to what's going on inside their minds. From a young age, they've had their own thoughts, opinions, interests, and dreams. And as they got older, they didn't try to blend into one personality. They leaned into their differences and made them part of their story. Abby is more of the numbers and logic type. She loves math and science, and she's always been the one to figure things out step by step. Brittany, on the other hand, is more into language, creativity, and expression. She enjoys reading, writing, and anything that lets her explore the world in a more emotional or imaginative way. This natural balance became especially useful in adulthood, because today they're fifth-grade teachers in Minnesota. Their different strengths help them connect with a wide range of students in their classroom. Some kids need help with fractions, others with storytelling. With Abby and Brittany, they get both. But their differences go far beyond work. Abby has a thing for salty snacks like chips or pretzels. Brittany's more into sweets, chocolate, candy, baked treats. Even their fashion sense doesn't always line up. They wear clothes that are custom-made to fit their shared body. But that doesn't mean they dress the same every day. Sometimes they choose outfits that coordinate, and other times they pick patterns or colors that let each of them express their style. One side might have stripes, while the other has polka dots. It's all about balance and being seen as individuals. Still, growing up came with moments that tested even their strongest bond. One of the biggest challenges arrived when they turned 16. Like most teens, they wanted a taste of freedom, specifically, the freedom to drive. But with two brains controlling one body, how do you even start learning? They didn't let that question hold them back. Abby, who controls the right side of their body, took charge of the gas and brake pedals. Brittany, in control of the left side, handled the turn signals. Together, they steered. Learning how to coordinate perfectly wasn't easy. Every driving lesson was a test in communication. They had to be completely in sync, predicting each other's actions before they happened. No guesswork, no second guessing. And just when they thought they had it all figured out, the state dropped a curveball. Because they're two separate legal individuals, the law said they each had to take the driving test. Separately. Yes, one body, two tests. It was double the stress. But if there's one thing these two are good at, it's keeping calm under pressure. They focused, worked together, and proved everyone wrong. Both passed. First try. Today, they drive just like anyone else. And to them, it's not extraordinary. It's just what they've always done. Adapt, communicate, and move forward. Together. But passing a driving test was just one milestone. College education and career pursuit. Now imagine this. You walk into a fifth-grade classroom expecting one teacher, and instead, you see two heads at the front of the room. One body, two bright smiles, and four eyes watching the students settle in. That's exactly what students experience when they meet Abby and Brittany Hensel. And let's be honest, at first, it can be surprising. But give it 5 minutes, and those kids aren't thinking about anything other than how fun and clear their lessons are. Abby and Brittany didn't just become teachers overnight. This journey was something they worked for, planned for, and dreamed about since they were kids. But getting there wasn't easy. When they graduated from high school, they set their sights on Bethel University in St. Paul, Minnesota, a Christian liberal arts college known for its strong education program. While many students stress over tests and class schedules, Abby and Brittany had a whole different set of challenges to manage. Every course meant 2 different sets of homework, 2 separate exams, and double the effort, all with just one body to get through the day. Abby focused on math and sciences. Brittany leaned toward the arts and writing. So, when it came time to study, they had to switch mental gears constantly. One might be solving equations, while the other was reading essays or writing reflections. And yes, they each had their own grades and academic records. Professors at Bethel treated them as individuals, even when the world around them sometimes struggled to do the same. After years of hard work, they finally earned their degrees in education. On graduation day, they walked across the stage and received 2 separate diplomas. For Abby and Brittany, it wasn't just a proud moment. It was proof that they were, and always had been, 2 people with 2 paths walking side by side. Soon after, they landed a job teaching math at a local elementary school. Their classroom quickly became known as one of the most engaging and student-friendly in the building. Kids love learning from them, and it's easy to see why. Their teaching style is a perfect balance. One might be at the board explaining fractions while the other walks between desks, checking in on students. They can switch roles without missing a beat. It's a team effort. Always has been. But here's something that most people didn't know. When they first started teaching, they were only paid 1 salary. Despite being 2 certified professionals, each with their own degree, they were initially compensated as if they were one person doing one job. This sparked quiet conversations and not-so-quiet debates about fairness and value. Sure, they share a body, but in the classroom, their students benefit from 2 perspectives, 2 teaching styles, and 2 educators who bring different strengths to the table. Shouldn't their pay reflect that? And while money was one piece of the puzzle, it was never the whole picture. What Abby and Brittany really wanted was recognition. Not as a spectacle, not as a miracle, just as educators who worked hard, showed up every day, and gave their students the best experience possible. But teaching, as fulfilling as it is, came with another kind of challenge, one that wasn't in the curriculum. No matter where they go, the twins have always drawn attention. Strangers stare, questions fly. Some people are kind, others aren't. And while Abby and Brittany have learned to live with the curiosity that comes with their appearance, there's a line that sometimes gets crossed. Living in the spotlight, whether they like it or not. Let's face it, people are curious. That's just human nature. And when Abby and Brittany Hensel walk into a public space, they turn heads without saying a word. 2 heads, 1 body. It's not something most of us see every day. But while a little curiosity is understandable, there's a big difference between looking and crossing a line. Abby put it plainly back in 2007. We absolutely hate when people take pictures of us, and we will throw a fit about it and make them embarrassed. They're not exaggerating. People snapping photos without permission is one of their biggest pet peeves. Imagine just trying to enjoy lunch with your sister, and someone thinks it's okay to secretly take your picture like you're some kind of exhibit. Wouldn't you be upset too? Even as kids, Abby and Brittany learned that public curiosity often came with a price. Their parents, Mike and Patty Hensel, were fiercely protective from the start. When doctors and researchers wanted to run all kinds of extra tests just because of how rare their condition was, the Hensels drew a firm line. No unnecessary exams, no poking and prodding just to satisfy scientific curiosity. Dr. Joy Westerdahl, who treated the twins during their childhood, explained it best back in 2007. While they are unique, the family wants to treat them like they are just like anyone else. I have to be mindful of the family's wishes not to get too involved. That mindset didn't stop the world from taking an interest. In April of 1996, Abby and Brittany were just 6 years old when they made not 1, but 2 appearances on The Oprah Winfrey Show. Their interviews captivated viewers. Around the same time, they were featured on the cover of Life magazine with the headline, "One Body, Two Souls." The article inside, titled "The Hensels' Summer," gave people a glimpse into the everyday moments of their lives, eating, dressing, playing, and how they navigated it all with such harmony. Then, in September of 1998, Life ran a follow-up story. Readers couldn't get enough of the twins. People wanted to know how they were changing, what new things they were doing, and what it really meant to grow up in a shared body with separate minds. By 2002, their story reached a whole new audience, thanks to a Discovery Health Channel documentary called Joined for Life. It showed the twins as preteens managing school, friendships, and chores, each girl controlling her own side of their body. It was followed by Joined at Birth in 2003, which dove even deeper into their early years. That same year, Time and Life released another photo series, this time focusing on the twins at age 11. They were growing up fast, and viewers were starting to notice the small but powerful ways their personalities were blooming. ABC even aired a prime-time special called Joined for Life. The twins' amazing story, bringing their lives into American living rooms like never before. But it didn't stop there. In 2005, a British series called Extraordinary People released a full episode on Abby and Brittany. Across the Atlantic, viewers were equally fascinated by how the twins approached everything from brushing their hair to solving disagreements. One body, two voices, endless resilience. But here's the thing. Being featured in magazines and documentaries is one thing. Signing on to a full-blown reality show? That's a whole different world. So why did Abby and Brittany finally agree to let cameras follow them everywhere? Foray into reality TV. Back in 2006, the world got a fresh look at Abby and Brittany's teenage years with a new documentary called Joined for Life. Abby and Brittany turned 16. For the first time, people saw what it was like for the twins to juggle regular teenage stuff. Going to school, hanging out with friends, and even tackling that huge milestone everyone faces, learning to drive. But that was just the beginning of their journey in front of the camera. The biggest spotlight came in 2012, when Abby and Brittany starred in their very own reality TV show, simply called Abby and Brittany. The series followed them through some of the most exciting changes of their lives, finishing college and taking their first steps as teachers. Viewers got to see it all. The job applications, lesson planning, and even those nerve-wracking first days standing in front of a classroom full of kids. Many people had doubts. How could two people sharing one body handle the pressures of teaching? But Abby and Brittany proved those doubts wrong, showing the world they could do anything they set their minds to. The show even aired across the pond on the British Broadcasting Corporation in 2013, giving fans worldwide a chance to follow the twins' incredible journey from students to teachers. But just when people thought they knew all about Abby and Brittany, a new headline caught everyone's attention, one that changed the story once again. Abby's big step: marriage, family, and life behind the scenes. After years of keeping a relatively low profile, the news that Abby Hensel got married sent waves through fans and followers around the world. You might be wondering, if Abby tied the knot, what about Brittany? That's a question many people have asked, and it adds another layer to the twins' already fascinating story. In November of 2021, Abby married Josh Bowling, a man whose life story is just as compelling as hers. Josh is a United States Army veteran and a registered nurse who works in Minnesota, but his journey began far from there in Tennessee. As a combat medic with the prestigious 1st Cavalry Division, he was deployed to both Iraq and Afghanistan, places where he witnessed the harsh realities of war and human suffering firsthand. Josh once told the Minnesota Star-Tribune that during his military service, he dealt with a lot of death and dying, the bad version of it. This experience shaped him deeply. After leaving the Army, he pursued nursing and found his true calling in hospice care, supporting veterans facing the end of life. He explained that providing a peaceful and dignified passing was something he felt drawn to, almost like a mission of healing after the trauma he had witnessed. Before Abby, Josh had a previous marriage. He and Annika Bowling were married in 2010 and stayed together for nearly a decade before splitting in 2019. During that time, they welcomed a daughter, Isabella, in 2016. Their story took another twist in late 2023 when Annika filed a paternity suit involving a second child born after their divorce. The legal situation is complicated and private, with DNA tests ordered but no public details released. This all came out 2 years into Josh's marriage with Abby, raising questions but also highlighting the complex realities adults face, no matter how extraordinary their lives might seem. Because Abby and Brittany share one body, Josh's marriage to Abby naturally raises curious questions. How does their relationship work day to day? What about Brittany's role? While Abby and Brittany have been private about the intimate details, their family occasionally shares glimpses of their lives through social media. Wedding photos, family outings, and simple everyday moments paint a picture of a warm, happy home where love and respect thrive. The announcement of Abby's marriage reignited the world's fascination with the Hensel twins. After first captivating audiences on The Oprah Winfrey Show back in 1996, and then starring in their own reality series, their story remains an inspiration to many. Today, Abby and Brittany actively engage with fans through social media, especially TikTok. In December 2024, they posted a 2024 replay video, a fun montage showcasing highlights from their year, including Abby's wedding, family moments, and behind-the-scenes life. This honest, yet carefully controlled sharing lets fans feel close without crossing the twins' boundaries. But with fame comes rumors, and Abby and Brittany have had their share. Despite being public figures for decades, they've always emphasized how important privacy is to them. By choosing what to share and when, they keep control of their story, maintaining a rare balance between openness and personal space. And speaking of public curiosity, recent posts and interviews have sparked yet another round of speculation. This time about pregnancy, Abby and Brittany stir up pregnancy rumors. What's really going on? Lately, the internet has been buzzing with excitement and a bit of confusion after Abby and Brittany Hensel, the famous Conjoined twins, dropped a TikTok video that had fans asking the big question: are they expecting a baby? The video immediately sparked a whirlwind of reactions. Some viewers jumped straight to congratulations, flooding comments with messages like "Congrats!" and "Can't wait to see your little one." Others weren't so sure, wondering if they'd misread the signs or if it was just a clever way to respond to critics. The clip wasn't a straightforward announcement at all. In fact, it was a powerful reply to some of the harshest criticism the twins have ever faced. You see, the video featured a montage of negative headlines and comments from various media figures, including conservative commentator Tucker Carlson. He had made some pretty insensitive remarks about Abby and Brittany's lives, calling their existence a tragedy and questioning what would happen if one twin were to pass away. These types of comments have often haunted the twins throughout their lives, especially since their story became public in the 1990s. To push back against that negativity, Abby and Brittany paired the montage with the empowering song "Unstoppable" by Sia. The message was clear: they are strong, resilient, and unbothered by the criticism hurled their way. But here's where things got interesting and a bit confusing. Among the headlines flashing by, one phrase stood out to fans: "Married and baby on the way." This line immediately set off a wave of speculation. Was it an official announcement? Or just another piece of the twins' larger message, showing how the media sensationalizes their lives? That single headline sent fans into a frenzy. Social media exploded with theories, joyful guesses, and heartfelt support. Yet, if you looked closer at the video, you'd see that the "married and baby on the way" phrase sat right alongside others like "shocking tragedy" and "this is so sad." Those phrases were clearly designed to highlight the negative and often unfair way the media portrays Abby and Brittany, not necessarily to reveal personal news. So was the headline meant as a hint at pregnancy? Or was it just part of the twins' way of shutting down criticism with a little irony? That's the mystery everyone's trying to solve. But what would pregnancy even mean for Abby and Brittany? Pregnancy for conjoined twins, especially those like Abby and Brittany who are dicephalic parapagus twins, would come with unique medical and emotional challenges. They share one body but have separate heads and separate brains. They share a single reproductive system, so if they were to conceive, only one twin would physically carry the pregnancy. Still, both would experience every moment emotionally and mentally, sharing the journey completely. This raises a lot of questions. How would they handle prenatal care? Would medical teams need special plans to ensure the health and safety of both twins and the baby? How would they prepare for parenthood when their lives are already so intertwined? Some critics have been skeptical, wondering if it's even possible or safe. But many others have applauded Abby and Brittany for their right to make choices about their own lives, just like anyone else. After all, they've never let their unique situation hold them back before. The reactions online have been mixed. Plenty of fans are thrilled at the thought of the twins becoming parents. They see it as a beautiful next chapter. Proof that Abby and Brittany can live life on their own terms, just like anyone else. On the flip side, some people worry about the potential medical risks and the social challenges they might face. Parenting is never simple, and for Abby and Brittany, the challenges would be unlike any other. But the twins have always been open about wanting to be treated like everyone else, with respect and dignity. So far, Abby and Brittany haven't spoken directly about the pregnancy rumors, and that's their choice. They've built their lives carefully, sharing enough to inspire and connect, but always guarding their personal space. Their silence is a reminder that they'll reveal what they want, when they want. Whether the "married and baby on the way" line was a tease, a misinterpretation, or a deliberate statement, it shows just how much Abby and Brittany continue to captivate and challenge the world's expectations. Their lives remind us that even in a society hungry for answers and drama, privacy and personal boundaries matter. Their story pushes us to rethink what's possible and what we assume about people with differences. They've already shown us strength, courage, and resilience, and maybe parenthood is just the next incredible chapter. But here's the question for you. What do you think about the possibility of Abby and Brittany becoming parents? How would they change the way we think about family, parenting, and life's challenges? Drop your thoughts below. Let's get the conversation going. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. While you're still here, check out the next video that pops up on your screen.